Let's step into the forest for a moment. Right here, a red fox is looking at a neat pile of 8 berries. The fox has a specific goal today. It needs to pack up 3/4 of these berries and move them to a new den. If the idea of taking a fraction of a group feels a bit confusing, you are in good company. Trying to imagine part of a whole pile can be tricky when you first start out. Before we worry about any math rules, we are simply going to see what 3/4 of a pile actually looks like in the physical world. If we write the fox's problem down as a math expression, it looks like this: 3/4 times 8. That multiplication sign in the middle is where most people get stuck. However, it has a very specific meaning when we are working with fractions. When you multiply a fraction by a whole number, that multiplication symbol means the same thing as the word of. So 3/4 times 8 just means 3/4 of 8. By reading that symbol as a word, the problem becomes a real-world task. We are just taking a specific part of a total group. We start with the bottom number of our fraction. We can think of this as the sorting number. This number tells us exactly how many equal groups we need to divide the total pile into. Since our sorting number is 4, we slide those 8 berries into 4 equal clusters. Take a look at the result. Each individual cluster now contains exactly 2 berries. By sorting the 8 berries into 4 groups, we have discovered that 1/4 of 8 is 2. The only job of that bottom number is to help us break the total hoard into these equal, manageable chunks. Next, we look at the top number of the fraction. Let's call this the keeping number. This number tells us exactly how many of those new clusters the fox actually gets to take. The keeping number is 3, so the fox selects 3 of those clusters and moves them into a new pile. Now we just count the berries in the kept pile. 2, 4, 6 berries total. By following the sorting and the keeping step, the fox has found its correct share. This visual logic matches exactly how the math works on paper. The first step is dividing the whole number, 8, by the bottom number, 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, which is the size of each cluster. Then we multiply that 2 by the top number, 3. 2 times 3 is 6, which is the total of our 3 clusters combined. This gives us our final answer. 3/4 times 8 equals 6. These formal math steps are a quick way to write down the same sorting and keeping we just did with the berries. A fraction multiplied by a whole number simply means taking a part of that whole amount. Our fox can now gather its 6 bright red berries and happily head off into the quiet woods for the winter. For this kind of problem, use the sorting and keeping model to find the answer. Fractions are practical tools for managing the world around us, one piece at a time.